S Squad, Squally. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing today? I am here with what I like to call Trevors circle first impression. So just me simply talking about like my first day in the game, first day in the circle apartment, like what that's like, what's going through my head. You know, so like I just figured it'd be really cool to share that with you guys and give you some insights into just my experiences, because it's kind of weird being in the circle before, but like not really. Like I have some kind of insight based on like what Delisa told me, but when an experience happens to you, it becomes your own. It takes on a whole different, unique personality. So like I said, I figured it'd be really dope to share that with you guys. So that's what I'm here to do today. So let's get to it. So day one in the circle, like I was so fired up, like the whole like early part of the day. Like when I could barely sleep the night before. I woke up like after getting maybe just a couple hours, and then like I was just on go. You know, you sit there, you're like trying to map out everything. Like you have all this time to plan out your game and plan out what you're gonna say, do, write, all of that, and then it's like, yo, I actually gotta like follow through on that stuff, you know? So when it was time to go in, I was ishing bricks, y'all, like legitimately, like they were the size of bricks. TMI, but I'm not gonna hold back with y'all, all right? So when it was time to go in, like I said, I was ishing bricks, but yo, I'm a competitor. I had to put my money where my mouth is, and it had to go deliver, you know? So like I walked in there and I was like, oh my God, like I'm actually in here. Like I'm actually in my own circle apartment, and it's like at that point everything feels real. The decor was all, it had like some pinks and some like pastel blues and all these like more feminine colors to kind of get like my mind into the game and into the persona that I was playing, being a catfish and just being a woman. So all those different like nuances and things you kind of take for granted. You don't really think like that is going to help me play this character, but it makes a huge difference, you know? So I was like, okay, this is great. I like it. Like I love my apartment. This is what I need to get my mind right. I got in there, I ran around the apartment. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is dope. This is me. And then boom, before you know it, it's like you're into the game and you gotta get in there and make your profile. And I was like, okay, I know what I want to say, but then you start thinking, you're like, dang, like what are they gonna say? Like it sounded really good in my head, but what are they gonna think? You start to have all those crazy doubt in yourself, in your game, and like I said, you're worried, like how am I gonna be received based on what I say in my bio, you know? And then you gotta pick your pictures, and I'm like, oh man, like what are they gonna think about these? Because I know how I feel, but what are they gonna say? Because like right now it's go time. In the moment, there's so much happening, and you got like you're excited, you're nervous, you're on edge, but it was such a rush, such a crazy feeling to have, and then to have all those emotions all at once. But again, it was so much fun to even have that happen, you know, because in Delisa's experience, she told me what it was like for her, and hers was a little different, her being, you know, coming in at the start of the game and everybody in the game is kind of at the same point and being new. I walked into the game once it was already going on and established. So how am I going to win these people over when they've already got relationships, you know? So like that's the thing you don't really stop to think about at first, that I had to start to consider when I came into the game. It was one of those things where I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm just gonna go with it. Like go with my gut, trust my planning, trust my preparation, and just go with it, you know? So the first thing that happened after creating my bio was that we were going to have a party. A party? My first night? That's dope. But then I found out that I'm the hostess of the party. Hostess? I guess we'll call it hostess because I played a woman. I had to host it, and I had to come up with a flyer, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so much pressure. Like I've never hosted a party and created a flyer. Like I'm not a party promoter. That's Delisa's bag. In that moment, I was like, dang, I wish I had it here. I wish I had it like in my ear telling me like what to say, what to do. But again, like it was nice to get thrown into the fire. I feel like that helped my game. Immediately didn't have me like get comfortable. It had my guard up, had me like focused. I had like a heightened sense of purpose, of task, and all of that, because I'm like, yo, I've got a limited amount of time to make everybody in this game like me more than they like everybody else. A party is a good way to do it. So I was happy that that was the way I was going to be able to get myself introduced to the rest of the cast. But there was no way to be sure that everybody was going to choose my party, because Everson had his own party because he came in the game at the same time as I did. There was that where I was like, dang, if I got to make sure that like my flyer is the most popping, because I don't want everybody to go to his. Luckily for me, my flyer was more popping and more people came to mine than his. Granted, I was still a little salty because I'm like, yo, like what was it about my flyer that you did not want to come to my little shindig, my joint, my toga party? But whatever, no hard feelings, because the people that didn't come, I still got mad love for y'all. But you know what? It was fine because we had such a good night that night. Everybody that came, I felt like the conversation was good. I got some good vibes. Granted, like I was able to also like pick out a few things about some people that I thought were red flags. But you know, it was one of those things where I was like, this is a really dope introduction into the circle. So again, I'm happy it went down that way. You know, it's a lot for your first day in the circle because you've got to have that like that transition into getting in the game that like everybody else had, but you don't have the luxury of everybody else being new, you know, or having the same kind of apprehension, hesitations, and you have to come in there and make these people like you when their guards are already up. Like you don't even know what's happened in the game. You know, you don't know what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. Like definitely exciting. But I personally felt the pressure of, you know, time working against me, of relationships, current relationships that have already been built working against me. Had to trust it, trust everything that like I had said, trusted everything that I had planned. Like, but even then I was like, okay, well my strategy essentially still has to change a little bit. Now there's faces behind it. There's a game that's already been in play. There's a new person here, you know, so like I had to really just start to tread lightly, but you know, but also be very purposeful with everything I did. So, you know, day one in the circle for me was a whirlwind, and it goes by so fast. It felt like 1 second I got in, the next second we were at the party, and then it was over, you know, like but that's how the circle days go, at least for me. You know, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but they felt so fast. Like you didn't know like what time it was, if it was morning, lunch, dinner. You would just like I just felt like I was going, and my mind was just racing, especially on that first day. Once I got going and got talking to people and that party kind of popped off, like I said, you start to settle in nicely, and you get the positive vibes from some people. You get not necessarily negative vibes I got, but it was like things that, you know, jump out at you about people that you're like, I don't know how I feel about that, I don't know how I feel about you. But at the end of the day, day one in the circle was a lot of fun. My first impression of the circle was even more than I expected. You know, like it was I expected to be uncomfortable, I expected to be excited, but I think I didn't have an idea of how much of all those feelings that I'd be feeling. So it's an experience that it's like it's gonna stay with me forever, just like that initial moment. Because again, for me, I'm new to this experience, to the circle, but I think to everybody else, I'm not, you know. So I also felt like there was pressure for me to deliver based on, you know, who my wife is, what my wife was able to accomplish in the game, and I think people have an expectation of me based on her and the way she portrayed me in her game. So all that stuff kind of played into how I was feeling walking into the circle apartment for the first time, and that stuff stays with you the entire time. But in that moment, I think that's when I felt it the most. But again, once I settled in, it was like, yo, just have fun with it, because it's the most fun experience you could ever imagine. So, you know, it was cool. It was a lot of fun, a lot of emotion. Would love to know what you guys think, how I came off to you guys in that first episode. So please, in the comments below, drop a couple. Let me know, like, did I come off as nervous? Did I seem confident? Did I seem comfortable? Did I look like a natural? I want to know all of it, you know. So please, in the comments below, let me know what you guys thought of Trevor, aka Imani's day one in the circle. And stay tuned, because I think I'm gonna do a couple more first impressions. You know, I think like I'll probably just do one just on like my overall first impressions of the cast, and like even the people that I got to meet later. So I think that's what I'll do. So stay tuned, stay locked in, because I have so much more content for you guys coming. The LEESA'S got more content, and we're gonna have some content together. So I implore you guys, stay tuned. All right. In the meantime, guys, follow us on Instagram at It's The Saints. Follow me on Instagram at Trev_Saint. The Lisa Unique. And guys, turn post notifications on. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you in our next video. Peace.